Hello, welcome to Skill Check, the positive gaming podcast from YMCA Exeter. My name is Andy.
And my name is Becky.
And I have got no idea why I almost giggled all the way through that, but that's where we are at today.
It's Friday.
It's Friday.
It's Friday.
It's been a week.
It's been a week. It's been busy this week.
Obviously, that's exactly what I meant to say. Thank you for covering my tracks.
I'm quite tired.
And that could be the energy that we're hitting today. The slightly tired, kind of overcompensating with the energy. And so coming up, I am going to probably be accused of showing off old man dad gaming vibes.
Okay.
I
think we accuse you of that weekly anyway, so...
Yeah, that is fair, that's a fair comment, but this week I'm probably going to be accused of embracing it and really kind of going for it. We have gaming news, and I normally say that last.
Yeah, you do. But we're going to talk about consoles today.
Consoles, yes. Yeah.
Should be very interesting.
But before that, we have gaming news. Now, gaming news.
Yeah, our first piece of gaming news this week is Valve recently shared some interesting stats about controller usage on Steam, revealing that gamepads are becoming increasingly popular. This data has been collected over multiple years, with controller support being an important factor users may consider when buying a game on Valve's Steam platform. Valve, the studio behind some of the world's most popular games, popular and beloved video games like Half-Life 2 and Team Fortress 2 and Portal, has proven its values innovation with hardware just as much as it does software. Over the last decade, Valve has become increasingly more involved in hardware spaces, releasing several first-party products tailor-made for gamers. Valve's Steam Deck continues to be one of the company's most successful attempts at integrating into the hardware space, giving users a sleek and powerful handheld gaming device capable of running today's top AAA titles. Controller use has increased 15% since 2018, with 42% of these controllers using Steam input.
Okay. I mean, it's no massive surprise.
Yeah.
PC gaming traditionally has been kind of very much keyboard, mouse based.
Yeah.
Consoles have the joy of the controller.
Yeah.
And controller, it's all...
Well, it's designed to make gaming easy, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah. That's my point.
Yeah.
And...
Whereas a keyboard is not designed for that.
Keyboard is designed to be...
a practical tool.
Keyboard.
Yeah.
And I know there's a purist view about being very exact over the controls that you want and need, but... we don't all have time. I mean...
Yeah.
There's something about having a controller. It's very easy. It's very straightforward. It's very nice. I can see... I'm surprised it's not got more popular quicker.
I think it's one of those things now, with the different kind of connections we have, it's much easier to attach a controller to a PC. So back in the day, it would have been quite hard to attach a controller. Whereas these days, you can Bluetooth it in... You can connect
USB doing wonders. You don't have to kind of climb around the back of your PC anymore to kind of plug it in or anything like that. It's, if need be, as you said, you can use Bluetooth.
Yeah. It's a lot easier than it used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I am here for easy PC gaming.
Yeah, and it used to, I think, controllers are made for gaming. That's what they're meant. That's what they're there for. And so actually, in some ways... this is probably, I would say, increasingly the way that hardware will go is away from set consoles and to controllers, just building controllers for people, basically.
Yeah, I mean, I use my Xbox controller on a few things.
Yeah. Our second piece of gaming news this week is from Software President and Elden Ring, oh gosh, my words, director, Hidetaki, I'm going to get this wrong because he's Japanese. Hidetaki Miyazaki, I'm going with that, that's probably right, has revealed that he rarely plays his own games after they have been released, and that when he does, he uses everything the game puts at his disposal to offset his own perceived lack of skill. Leading up to the release of the game, I'll be very hands-on playing it and getting as much time as I possibly on it as possible, said Miyake in an interview with The Guardian. Prior to the June 21st release of Elden Ring's Shadow of Erdtree DLC. But after the release, I tend not to touch it because I know I'm going to either find things that I left on the table or issues that will bug me, which is fair enough. Yeah. Miyazaki went on to explain that playing a From Software title post-launch gives him a feeling of powerlessness, but he completed the entirety of Elden Ring's main story in preparation for the Shadow of Erdtree. Many in the gaming community, that's what it says. I wrote like gaming community, that's how I'm reading this now. Community are struggling to beat the new DLC in Elden Ring, which Miyazaki himself admitted pushes the envelope in terms of what we think we can be withstood by the player.
Okay, so a few thoughts here. Number one is, I'm very aware we are being more chaotic than normal today.
Yeah. I just can't say the gaming community is because I haven't spelled. I put the space in the wrong place.
That is just,
Yeah, and I can't.
Sometimes we've got to embrace the chaos. I completely understand why. When after he releases a game, he's like, no,
I'm not touching it. Yeah.
Because if he sees something, he's going to want to release a bug fix or whatever. Yeah. Or at least he'll be like, I
should have done that.
I should have done that. That should have been better.
Yeah.
This is a guy that has learnt to let things go and have very sensible boundaries and fair play.
Yeah.
And yes, I have heard that the DLC is incredibly hard, and considering how hard Elden Ring is meant to be.
So he was basically saying that in this interview that they know that it's hard, and they're happy for players to use whatever they can to try and make it easier. Basically, that's what they're saying. So I can't remember specifics around what he was saying, but it was like he was basically just happy for people to like work out ways of getting around hard bits and stuff like that, because that's part of the game, is what he said, and which is an interesting way of looking at things. Quite a lot of game creators would be like, no, you've got to play the game the way it's made, but I think he was quite happy for just go, actually, we know it's hard.
We know it's hard.
Yeah.
Use help.
Yeah, basically.
Which is good rule for life.
Yeah. General community feel.
Yeah.
I think that's a pretty good attitude. Yeah. The amount of, when I was Googling this thing, the amount of people that were like, this is too hard, I can't get around it. There was a whole stream on Reddit of people just going, it's too hard, I've done this, I've done that, it's too hard, I've done this.
Not selling the game to me.
I
appreciate that it's an awesome game, but it's more and more it sounds like it's not for me.
Okay, not going for it because it's too hard.
Yes.
Our final piece of gaming news is players will soon be able to take part in the closed beta of Marvel Rivals on both console and PC. Both consoles and PC. If you want to try the title, go to the title's Steam page. The closed beta will begin on July the 23rd at 11 p.m. London time and end on August the 5th at 8 a.m. It's a 6v6 hero shooter in the vein of Overwatch and Overwatch 2 and others, with very few key differences. Obviously, the big thing that sets this multiplayer game apart is Marvel Universe itself. Other games have had to introduce you to their characters. Here, Magneto and the Hulk will be battling alongside Doctor Strange and Black Panther, names almost everyone knows. The other big difference with Marvel Rivals is the promise of destructible environments. In nearly every superhero film, buildings are destroyed in the midst of action, and allowing that to happen in multiplayer matches will make the whole thing feel far more superpowered. In addition, this feature will also allow you to reshape the map itself, opening up new areas or allowing you to deploy different tactics.
I'm here for this game.
Yeah.
I at least want to try it out. It looks like what I've seen online. It looks fun.
Yeah.
Which is what I look for in a game.
Yeah.
I'm also a Marvel fan.
Yeah.
I'm at least going to be trying this out.
Are you signing up to the beta?
On the 20th of July.
Yeah.
90% certain that's the day I saw already. I think I might be setting a reminder somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's gonna say I mean, imagine at some point it'll probably come up in Game of the Week because we're heading. It's interesting.
No.
So neither of us have played Overwatch 2, so we can't comment on like what it's like. I've watched young people play Overwatch 2, so
I've literally played Overwatch 2 for about 2 seconds.
yeah,
But I've played and seen it enough that when I saw Marvel Rivals, I was like, yeah, I see what you're doing. I see what you're going for here. I see the feel. This looks and feels like Overwatch 2.
Yeah.
If that's a good or a bad thing, I think it will depend on how it gets received.
Yeah, and how many bugs it will have in it and glitches.
Well, there's been some complaints about Marvel Rivals from people who've played it so far, mostly around how the characters are balanced against each other.
Okay.
But aside from that, it seems to be generally positive.
Yeah.
There is that thing about how the studio doesn't want negative reviews.
Yes, we did talk about that the other week.
Which is dodge.
Yeah.
And could be colouring what people say.
Yeah.
But even people who come out and talk about this whilst playing Marvel Rivals, they're like, I don't see what their problem is. It's a good game.
Yeah. Okay.
So I guess we have to wait and see.
Yeah.
So we occasionally pause here and look at something a little different in this section. And this week I kind of wanted to share a thing that I kind of stumbled across.
Yeah.
Which I kind of read it and I kind of felt. Now I'm going to put the full link to the full link to the article.
Yep.
In the show notes. But basically, he kind of talks about does he want a PS5 or is he happy with his PS4?
Yeah.
And I kind of read it and I kind of felt it. I'm like, so he kind of starts off by talking about the current state of gaming in general.
Yeah.
He talks a lot about the studio layoffs that have happened, that I've covered previously, and generally feeling a bit kind of down about the state of gaming as a result of that.
Yeah.
And then he goes on to say, I probably already own more than enough games to last a lifetime, but I'm still buying new ones as a good percentage are still coming out on the PlayStation 4. Which brings me to the point of this feature. I have no intention of buying a PlayStation 5 or any next-gen console. There are multiple reasons for this that aren't really connected, which is why I want to write this and kind of explain it to myself. The first is obviously expense. Everyone's feeling the pinch nowadays, and a PlayStation 5 isn't cheap, especially when the games are expensive too. I expect this as is the main reason for game for sales starting to drop sooner than before. I'd expect this is the main reason for sales starting to drop sooner than they thought. They've reached their limit of hardcore gamers and no price drop, and the cost of living crisis, more casual gamers just don't feel the urge to spend all that money. The lack of new game announcements is also a factor, but that's not exactly putting me off because less games would actually fit in with my lifestyle now, since as a new dad, I have less time for gaming. That's not ideal, but I think it'd be common for anyone that's no longer in their 20s or below.
Yeah.
It's depressing. I'm sorry, it's meant to be a positive gaming podcast.
Yeah.
But I kind of felt this was a slightly different kind of perspective, different kind of outlook on it. And also because I've mentioned a few times, particularly over the last few weeks, lovely listener, I'm kind of tempted to get a PlayStation.
Yeah.
And part of the reason why I haven't is like, actually, do I want a PS5?
Yeah.
Or would a PS4 actually scratch that itch good enough? Also, there's the whole question about price. That kind of comes down to it. And in regards to kind of the PS5 or PS4 question, I mean, what are games I actually really want to play? Spider-Man 2, definitely.
Yeah.
Wolverine?
Yeah.
Yes, I want Wolverine.
Yep. Are they all available on PS4? Or are they only available
Those
on
ones
PS4?
aren't on PS4.
There you go.
But they will be coming in some shape or form to the PC at
Yeah.
some point. And whilst I may need an upgrade at some point for my PC,
It's not going to be as
will
much.
be cheaper.
Yeah. Than buying a PS5.
Yeah, I mean, the Last of Us remasters look good. Stellar Blade looks good. It looks all nice and shiny.
Yeah.
But I'm like, and then I'm like reading this, I'm like, oh, I kind of get it, you know?
I mean, we are talking, like, now, we talk more and more about the fact that, like, we're probably moving away from a hardware area of gaming.
Interesting note
Yeah.
there, because I kind of feel the same with Xbox as
Yeah.
well, in that whilst there are some games, even with Game Pass, that you can't play on Xbox One, so you can't play things like Jedi Survivor on the cloud yet,
Yeah.
and you can't play Hellblade 2 on the cloud on Xbox One for reasons I don't fully understand. There's, with Xbox Game Pass is coming to some Fire Sticks.
Yeah.
So if you've got the right Amazon Fire Stick,
Yeah.
and the controller,
Yeah.
you'd be able to play
Yeah.
Xbox games on your Fire Stick,
Yep.
on the TV,
Yeah.
internet connection reliant, of course.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think we talk more and more about this, but, you know, I mean, apart from maybe like Nintendo, who seem to still be managing to get their console sales going quite well, because I think their consoles have a different selling point, whereas I feel like the Xbox and the PlayStation, they're very much connected to a TV, they're very much connected to, like, you have to still play them in sort of an old-fashioned way, I guess, whereas the Switch and potentially whatever that comes next, the Switch 2 or whatever they're calling it, they're much more, the fact that you can kind of take them out with you and put them back in and stuff like that makes them much more desirable. I feel like with the kind of traditional, like, hardcore gaming, I feel like we're moving away from consoles, really, like, and it's heading towards the period of just having online games where you...
That could be the case. It could be the case that we end up having a setup where actually you can almost game anywhere you want as long as there's an internet connection. I mean, PlayStation's dabbling in this with their mobile console that lets you stream from your console. Yeah,
and I do wonder if, like, that's what we'll move to, is having some sort of streaming service on your TV and then also having some sort of portable console thing. So that's, I mean, it's like Nintendo thought of this way before, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's amazing the foresight of, like, now PlayStation is kind of moving into that area as well.
I mean, it'd be really interesting to see what happens with the Switch 2, for lack of better wording.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, historically speaking, before the Switch, there was the Wii U.
Yeah, which wasn't great.
Everyone forgets about.
Yeah.
And we still have the Wii kicking around.
Yeah.
So is the Switch 2 going to be another Wii U? Or
will it have something drastically
is it going to be another Switch Wii U situation that everyone ends up buying it and it becomes bigger and big again?
I mean, I think the gap between, I might be wrong with this, the Wii and the Wii U has been was less than the Switch and the Switch 2. Because also I feel like we were expecting the Switch 2 like last year and it just hasn't come.
I'm going to say possibly.
Yeah. I think also while Nintendo are still selling Switches, they're reluctant to put out Switch 2 and the Switch is still selling. So it's a really challenging one with Nintendo because they're like, well, we're still selling consoles, so it's really...
It is parents of kids who want a Switch that I feel particularly sorry for right now. Because what do you go for?
Yeah. You're in that, like,
do you play the really long game?
Yeah.
And get a console that maybe not everyone's going to be getting.
Yeah.
Or do you play the now game, get the quick win, get the Switch that everyone's got. The kids will love you.
Yeah.
There's no easy answers out there for anybody right now.
Yeah. Well, the console thing, I think, it seems like with Xbox and PlayStation, they're definitely moving away from making new consoles. So I guess we'll see in the future whether actually they moved to just being online services that we use.
Are the console wars finally over?
Ooh. Big question. We'll throw it out there and we should leave it at that. And now it's time for Andy's Game of the Week. Andy, what is your game this week?
So off air, we've just had a conversation about all things retro and older games and older consoles. A lot of those consoles that we talked about were kind of, I guess, early 2000s. I am going to go further back in time than that to 1992.
What? It's so long ago.
Talk about an era where games were a little bit different.
Can I tell you that 1992 is over 30 years ago now? We were both alive then, by the way, but it feels like it shouldn't be over 30 years ago. But that is true. You carry on.
I am not okay with that information. It's very much the sort of era where platformers particularly sat in kind of one or two camps. One would be the kind of Sonic the Hedgehog, Mario-esque style, kind of run, jump off the platform, keep going, and all of that. Mm-hmm. Yes, there is some level of unforgiveness that you don't particularly see in a lot of games now.
Yeah.
But it was generally a lot kind of quicker, a lot smoother experience. Then the second group of platformers, which were very, and I guess the original Tomb Raider games were a bit like this as well. Mm-hmm. And that was very much step forward, step forward, step forward, jump in the right way, get onto the next ledge,
and fall off. fall
off too far, and you're dead. Welcome to the world of Flashback. So I've been playing a remastered version of it that was released in 2018, which has a very handy kind of rewind feature.
Yeah.
So you can skip back 30 seconds or so.
Handy.
Very handy.
If you fall off something and die, you can just rewind yourself.
Exactly. Especially when you're playing on a Switch for the controllers for which aren't exactly the world's most responsive, and you're trying to jump in exactly the right way, and whatever you do, the Switch isn't behaving itself.
Yeah.
And you just end up continually just doing the wrong jump.
Yeah.
Is there frustration coming out? Maybe the last time I played this didn't go too well. But available for not much on the Switch store.
Yeah.
During Switch sales.
Yeah.
If you want a taste of old school, check it out. It is an early 90s platformer.
Yeah.
It feels like it. It looks like it. Gotta be exact with what you do.
Yeah.
It also includes the original version if you really want to try it out as well.
I feel like a lot of these remastered games that Switch are bringing out now, though, the controls aren't easy to use. I tried to play GoldenEye.
I was wondering if you were referring to GoldenEye.
Yeah, and I just get stuck because I can't control it at all.
Yeah, so I think the GoldenEye on the Switch is a slightly different kettle of fish because because it is kind of designed to be ran on the Switch, and I don't know what they did with the controllers. Got to rematch them in order to make it
get the hang of it at all.
It works so much better on the Xbox.
Yeah.
GoldenEye. So to go from it on GoldenEye, from the Xbox to playing on the Switch was this is a completely different experience. What on earth have they done with the controls? Yeah. This makes no sense, and I just went back to the Xbox to get shot at up there. I still wasn't very good at the game, but at least I wasn't very good at the game for all the right reasons rather than the controllers working against me. Yeah.
So this one you're the controllers work on the Switch? Can you make it work on the Switch?
Oh yeah, on Flashback on the Switch.
Yeah.
Controllers themselves work as long as the actual physical controllers are reacting well.
Yeah. Okay.
It is easy to use as long as you take the time to know the commands. As far as the usability of it goes, absolutely fine. Not a problem at all. Just need to remember it plays like a game from back in the early 90s. And forgive yourself as a result.
I feel like they were a lot harder because you actually died, whereas now I feel like you just respawn.
Yeah, there is a lot more hand holding in a lot of games compared to back in 80s, 90s.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
It's probably a good thing.
It's probably a good thing. It probably helps make games a lot more accessible.
Yeah.
I mean, I forget what game it was. I think it was Sonic Superstars. There was an interview kicking around at the time where they were talking about what does it look like to die in a modern day platformer.
Yeah.
In that, obviously, back in like the original Sonic trilogy on the Mega Drive, you would see the game over screen. Whereas if you were to play something like Super Mario Odyssey, which was bigger than big when the Switch first came out, I don't know if anyone really saw a game over screen on that game. Perfectly possible and easy enough to die.
Yeah.
But
you always get back again.
You respawn and you keep going.
Yeah. Well, on that note, we'll end the conversation there.
we kind of moved away with Embrace the Chaos.
Yeah. So if you want to find out more, please do follow us at YMCA Exeter and YMCA Exeter Games on all social medias, Facebook, Instagram, those kind of things. If you are following us on YouTube, please do like and comment and subscribe. And we will see you next week. Bye bye.